how have you accumulated your wealth, Michael? What has you?
So let me put a plug into my company, Richmond Mortgage, in Richmond, Virginia, richmondmortgage.com. But Chris wanted to know how I accumulated my capital to be in the lending business, and it really started with my grandfather, who came to this country with nothing around 1900 or so, 1910, and he built up a furniture business over many years.
Where at?
And it became, at its height, it became the biggest furniture company in the United States, retail furniture company.
Wow.
And then it was turned over to my second generation, my father and my uncle, and they got into an argument about whose son was dumbest. And they couldn't decide. So they turned it over to several people who had worked with the company for 20 years plus, and those people took the company and super expanded it, leveraged it to the hilt, and bankrupted the company.
What year was that?
That was like in the middle 90s, 1997 or so.
Oh my.
It was an 80-year-old company at that time.
What was the name of that company?
Halig Myers Company.
I've heard of them.
And so they bankrupted the company, and fortunately I had left in the 80s, and I'd sort of taken the stock that I'd inherited. But I learned a lot in working at Halig Myers about credit extension and collection, and I started my own business. I went into real estate, started rehabbing, and along the way I did some car loan business, but I always kept my hands in real estate, fixing and flipping it, or putting money in, putting property in my rental portfolio, which I still own.
Nice.
And then when I sold my car finance business in the 90s, late 90s, I went full time into buying houses and fixing them up and flipping them, and
Gotcha.
and then I accumulated a rental portfolio, and then I started lending money to rehabbers, and that led to this business that I've been in for about 16 years, and it's gone well. But I know the business, backwards and forwards, because I used to do it. So I can walk into a house and say, okay, the house is worth this. It's going to cost about this to renovate it. I'll lend you this amount of money.
Gotcha.
And it all makes sense. And I know for me, it makes sense for me, and I know the rehabber is going to make some money. So I'm able to move extremely quickly. Somebody buys an auction, needs to close in a week or two. I can move quickly. A bank can't do that.
No way.
And of course, we charge for that. We charge more than what a bank's going to charge. But if you're in and out quickly, you can afford that high rate. So you don't want to borrow high cost money like ours for very long. You want to have a short-term project.
Right off right here.
All right. So that's how I came to some of the money I inherited, and then some of it I just learned how to lend money and how to make sure I could get it back in the furniture business, and in the auto business. So, lending is lending, and now I lend on houses.
So what you lend your money as well as other people's money?
I do. I have an investment program for people that want me to manage their money, and I lend it with my money. My money is in every deal with my investors. And we've been doing well. I've been doing it since 2000, so we went through that crazy run-up in prices and that crash.
In the middle there.
And
Crash in 2008.
Crash in 2008, and we survived that.
Good for you.
And we just keep going, and we try to be pretty conservative, because the main goal is we want to make sure we can get our capital back.
Yeah, capital preservation.
Capital preservation is the key. So some years we're more profitable than others, and but we're not the biggest company out there. But
very personable, though, Mike.
Yeah, we try to have a personal relationship. Our goal is to deal with people multiple times, over and over, and that way we know who we're dealing with. They know who they're dealing with. When they call, they can get somebody right on the phone right then and there, either me or Mary or Lisa, and they can get an answer to their problem, whatever they need. They can get their construction draw immediately. So that money's got to keep flowing, particularly when you're talking construction and your subs. They want to get paid immediately. They don't want to wait around. I know that because I've done rehab, and so that's our goal, is to keep that money flowing, and it seems to work.
So what are your thoughts about earning money as opposed to managing it, Mike? When did you? We all start out, we were taught to be earners, and then this light bulb comes on as we age, and we say, you know what, I can only earn so much. I've got to figure out how to manage what I have. When did the light bulb come on for you, and how do you kind of say, when did that start for you?
For me, it started at a very early age, just because I came from a family who were into owning businesses.
Okay.
And so, you just pick that up almost around the kitchen table. And so, there are stories with me when I was 5 years old selling I gathered up all the pencils in my house and going door to door selling them. I just had an interest in business as a little kid.
Wow.
Probably as imitating my family.
Okay.
I just wanted to do some kind of business or something. And
how about people that most people are in the earning room. Keep straight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, keep straight. Most people are in the earning mindset, Mike. What do you have to say for our viewers that maybe we need to bring them over to the...
If you have an interest in trying to get some kind of supplemental income, I'd say, keep pursuing every avenue you can. You got to read a lot of books. You take seminars. Education is the key. You hang out with people like Chris or me, see what we're doing, how we make money. You got a little capital. You say, well, hey, I can do that.
Gotcha.
You can be a lender. You can partner with Chris on a deal, and he's going to protect you. And you can partner with me. But you might be more comfortable maybe with somebody in your hometown or your market.
Gotcha.
But there's lots of ways to make money. The key is education, and wade in a little bit at a time.
Okay.
And be cautious in the beginning, and as you get more confidence and experience, then you can ramp up and take a little more risk.
Okay.
So I'd say hang out with people who are doing it. Go to these, if you're into real estate, you go to real estate RIAs, investment groups, education. Go to seminars for a weekend. Spend $500. I've spent $500,000 to just go to a seminar with other people doing what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Hard money lending, and I see what they're doing, and we trade stories, and it all. I started taking seminars probably back in the '80s.
Holy cow!
With a fella who said his philosophy was make it big on little deals, and he had a whole idea about buying single-family houses one at a time, and his idea was to keep them, and rather than flip them. And I took his seminar, John Schaub, down in Florida. Wow. I think he's still teaching, and it was just real common sense. Not get rich quick, get rich slow. So, if you take a 10-year perspective on any type of business, it could be auto finance, it could be fix and flip, it could be buy and hold. In 10 years, you'd be surprised what you would accumulate, the knowledge as well as the assets. You're not going to get rich quick, I don't think. Very few people do.
Yeah.
It takes 10 years. It really does.
I think that's a challenge, though, Mike, to even be able to see 10 years, because I have learned that, too. Now that I'm acquiring assets debt-free. It's like I didn't do that overnight, but what can people do to kind of get in a mindset of, I have a 5-10-year plan as opposed to the 25-second microwave society that we live in today?
You just have to, if you look at people who've made their money, you're going to see that they made it over a period of time. And just by talking with them, you can ask them about the deals they made. And, sometimes you're going to get lucky. You're going to, you can make some quick money. But day in, day out, you need to have that, if you're talking real estate, that 10-year perspective. Lending money is another thing. That produces a fairly immediate cash flow in that 6-month, 1-year period. And so I do both. I own real estate and I lend. So my real estate is a long-term hold type thing, and as the debt pays down, pays off, you know, I've got a lot of free and clear houses now, about half of them.
Good for you.
And you know, that's sort of my retirement. It doesn't take a lot to manage a single family residence.
Do you do regular rentals, Mike, or do you do lease options or owner finance?
I just do regular rentals. You know, I have about 20 houses that I accumulated over the years.
Wow.
And you know,
You're an open book, Mike.
it seems to work. But it's, you know, taking shoot, I started buying houses in the 80s. You know, so one here, there, nothing, a lot, and then accelerated over the years, particularly once I left Highlight Myers Company.
Yeah. All right, let's get something to eat, Mike.
All right.